Lisa from My Dreaming Soap. Welcome to my channel. It's soap challenge time again today, and this month we're doing some dipping techniques. Now this looks like a really cool technique. Again, for me, it's one of those ones that I'm not in love with, just purely because it doesn't go along with my ethos of I like a design or a whatever you're doing to a soap to go all the way through the soap. So this is, again, it's a surface technique, but it does look like it does give some really pretty results. And it would be a great thing to do if you had some soaps maybe that you didn't really like, didn't think were that brilliant. You could always do this dipping technique with them. I guess the downside of that is if you sell soaps, and let's imagine that you put them in your shop with this beautiful top showing and it was a bit of a disaster underneath. To me, that would be a little bit of a shame if someone's bought it on the fact that the top looks really good, but actually the bulk of the soap is rubbish. But overall, I think it is a beautiful technique. It does create some stunning soaps, and it could be used as a way, as I said, for dressing up those soaps that perhaps didn't go as well as you'd like. Right, so what are we going to do today? Now, as you may know, with the Soap Challenge Club, there are 3 levels. There's the regular, there's the advanced, and then there's the winners category. I have to compete in the winners category. And so for that, what we had to do is we had to create a base soap, so a soap that we dip into the other soap. And that base soap must have at least 3 colours in it. So the colours I'm using are Golden Shimmer from Mica Mama, Shimmer Blue from Mica Mama, and Carib Blue Boo. Let's try that again, shall I? Carib Blue Blue. Did I say that right? I think I did. From Mica Mama as well. And fragrance oil, I'm using Kulu Bay from Nature's Garden. So I'm going for that sort of seaside-y type theme with mine. Okay, so that's everything I'm going to be using. Let's get this soap ready for making up the base soap for my dipping. First of all, I'm going to do a really tiny layer. There's about 60 grams of oil in there to make this soap up. It's going to be this golden shimmer layer, so I just want a tiny bit of mica in there. And because it's just going to be a single colour layer, I'm just going to mix that in with the oils. Right, so let's get this blended up. I've got my tiny bit of lye solution and sodium lactate. And do try, if you do have small amounts of oil to mix, I always use a narrow, tall pot, because that way you can have the depth better and it's easier to blend it up. These narrow, tall pots that I've got, they're literally just old bottles. This Kulu Bay bottle that I've got, what I would end up doing is, you know, I would just chop it off and I would turn it into a container I could use for mixing up soap batter and that in. So let's give that a blend. Now I'm blending with my little mini mixer, and I often get asked about these. This is great because it plugs in, so it's much better than those battery ones that you can get. This is a Greek frappe maker, and I just got mine from Amazon. The problem that you've got is, or not the problem that I've got, is that they seem to be really difficult to find if you're in the US or Canada. They don't seem to have them so much. Here in the UK, for one time, in the UK and Europe, we can seem to be able to get a soap making thing better than you guys in the US. So yeah, if you're UK, Europe, these are readily available on places like Amazon, and they're brilliant. I want the first layers of my soap to be on an angle, so I've just got my Cheshire Cat, I think we call this, from Custom Craft Tools, and I'm just going to pop my mould on there, and I'm just going to pour it into this, let's see if I can get you to see better, this bottom corner. Okay, I'm just going to pop that on there so that it gets to the angle I want. Okay, so that's gone in nice and fluid, which is great because it should then level out for me. I'm not actually after a completely level soap. I am going to muck around with this layer. So that's in there. I know you probably can't see that very well at all. I'm just going to leave that to set up, and then we'll come back when that's ready for me to just do the little bit of the slight texturing that I'm going to do. This is set up nicely. As you can see, it's not sliding down the mould. And what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to create a beach scene. I'm trying to create a pattern in the soap, but with sort of beachy colours. So I have no clue if this is going to work. I've just got a little palette knife, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start moving this soap, sort of pushing it down in the middle, pulling it up. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. I'll try and keep my hand out of the way. And as I leave it, then the sort of ends curl over and make like a little wave effect. And the other thing I want to do is I want to have some sort of small bits just going up the side so it's not a straight line. So I'm going to do the side first. I'm just trying this. This is not a technique that I know, it's just something I'm just doing and seeing how it's going to work out. Now I really don't know if you're going to be able to see this, I'm going to try. Can you sort of see through the mould? I'm getting some sort of like little design on the outside, sort of like a wavy design. That's sort of the thing that I want. Now the reason I'm trying to get that on what's going to be the side of a bar is one of the requirements that we have to do in the winners category is we have to show obviously our dipped soaps, but we also have to show the side of a bar, at least one bar, so they can see the colours in our soap. And obviously I want the side of the bar to look quite cool. So therefore that's why I'm trying extra hard to get this sort of almost design going up the side of the bar. See, I'm playing around. Can you see in there? I'm hoping that's going to sort of give the effect that I want. I think it will be quite a pretty design. So I'm going to leave that now. I want that to set up nicely so when I pour the next layer on, it's not going to disturb that pattern that I've done. Okay, so I'm just going to, once again, I'm just going to lift that up so you can maybe get a better chance of seeing. I'm going to add this. Okay, so hopefully by doing that and popping it straight on the mould while it's still really fluid, that will then put that in at the same sort of angle as before. I think that one's sort of set up enough now to do the same thing. Let's make up our last layer then, shall we? So I'm just going to have white for this one. I know white's probably not a seaside colour, but I didn't want to do blue for a sky or anything. I'm trying not to make this too literal. I'm just trying to do sort of patterns with sort of those sandy sea type colours in them, and then just some white to finish off. Okay, so there's that done. I'm going to pop that in my warming cupboard now overnight, and then we will give that a cut once that's set up, and then we'll look at how we're going to do this dipping technique. Let's get on to our dipping part of this technique then. So what I've got is I've got some colours Just small amounts of soap made up. Now the rules for this challenge, obviously if you were doing this technique you could use any colours you want. The rules for this challenge for the winners category is we have to use all of the colours that we've got in our base soap in our dipping soap. We can add some extras. So as you can see here, I've got some extras of like a neon purple colour and some activated charcoal. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. We can also do things like mica drizzles, that sort of stuff. So I do need to use those. The other thing that restricts me a bit with colours is, obviously as I'm sure most of you know, I'm in the UK, so we can't just pick any colours we want. I have to use the colours that I've got authorised in my assessment for this Kulu Bay fragrance. So therefore these are some of the colours. Some I've discounted, things like, you know, a dark green and a silver. I didn't want those in it, so I've just discounted those. But those are ones available to me in my assessment. But these are the ones I've decided I might use. Okay, so what we want to do is, and I've never done this before, so this is my first go. Pop some soap down. Now my trace here is getting on a little bit thicker, which is apparently a good thing. Swiggle that up. I have no clue what I'm doing, so I'm just going for it with this. I quite like that colour combo. So I'm going to just take my dipping soap. I'm not sure if I've got enough there. Let me just add a little bit more of the white. Put it in. I don't know if you're supposed to let it go or not. And then lift it up. Oh, look at that. That's quite good, isn't it? Oh, I like that. Just going to clean off these sides. Oh, I like that. I do like it. And one of the good things with this technique is that you can scrape off and have another go if you want to. So I'm going to just do this again. These early ones, I'm just going to try a little bit of mucking around in. I'm just going to see. Let's put that white back in. With a tiny bit of the neon purple will look like. Here we go. Giving it a little twist this time. There we are. Oh, that's really pretty too, isn't it? I like the little splodge of purple in there. I'm going to keep up with that, I think. Some white. Oh, that blue's getting thick. Making sure I've got all my colours in. And then a tiny touch of the purple. Right, let's have another go. This is fun. I love this effect here, this gentle effect there of that purple going in. I really like that. Oh, I'm really pleased with those. Right, I'm going to try, actually I'm going to carry on with this to use up some more of this soap. Let's carry on with this a bit. Now I like that sort of swirly bit, so I'm going to swirl like that. And then not forget my purple. Okay. Right, so let's try this again. Boom. Ooh, I quite like that. Let me go. See, it's getting thicker now. Oh, I only just got a tiny bit of that blue on that one. Whew. And here's a final photo of the soaps that I chose to enter in the challenge. Obviously there was no cutting to this video because the soaps were already cut. What I did do with these is I waited until the shine had gone from the top of the dipping soap, and then I sprayed them with some 99% rubbing alcohol, and then I covered them with a container, not touching the surface of course, and left them for just over 2 days just to minimise the amount of air getting to them so they didn't get any soda ash. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like the soap. If you have, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, why not subscribe to my channel? Thanks for watching everyone. Happy soaping!